Phil here once again at the Cazoo Players' Championship in Milton Keynes, or should I say, Phil's, because I have collared ITV4 commentator Phil Yates to talk us through the action ahead this evening. Phil, what an evening we've got. John Higgins against Kyron Wilson for a place in tomorrow night's final.
There's only one thing guaranteed. Kyron Wilson will score more points than Mark Selby did. That was one of the most remarkable matches I've ever seen. Mark Selby, he potted 3 balls, a blue and 2 reds. He scored 7 points, the lowest total ever in a televised best of 11 frame match. Higgins was monstrously ruthless. It was an extraordinary performance, and I think whatever happens from now on in for the rest of the tournament, that's what I'll take away and I'll remember this tournament most for.
Well, it's funny, I spoke to John after the match yesterday and he said that he rated that performance as his best ever, which at that stage of his career is incredible, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, look, to deprive anyone of so many points, extraordinary. But think about this. Mark Selby, quite rightly, is renowned as one of the best safety players in the game, one of the best players at laying snookers, and yet John Higgins didn't give any penalty points away whatsoever in that match. In fact, in his 2 matches combined, he's given 2 lots of 4 penalty points away in the 3rd frame against Jordan Brown. The stats are just remarkable.
And he's, of course, not conceded a frame yet either. Speaking to Ronnie last night about the match between Selby and Higgins, he used the word granite, he used the word obscene, and he used the word evil, and it really was at that level, wasn't it?
It was, absolutely. I said in the commentary box, in the 4th frame, Selby was being completely shut out. And I said, we had a close-up of him, I said, I'm a snooker player, get me out of here. It was the snooker equivalent of a bush tucker trial.
It really was. And he's not the only one going into this with form, though, is he? Because we saw Kyron put up a great display to dispatch Neil Robertson.
Psychologically, that was, I think, a turning point for Wilson. He's lost an awful lot of matches this season from well in front. He lost in the Champion of Champions to Mark Selby from 4-0 up, lost 6-5, but there have been plenty of other instances as well. And when Wilson came back at him from 3-0 down, well, not Wilson, sorry, when Robertson came back at him from 3-0 down to 3-2, you think, is he going to wobble again? Now, he didn't just pull away to 6-2, he pulled away extremely impressively with 3 superbly crafted breaks.
And Neil's a very, very difficult player to do that against, isn't he? So he's had quarter-finalitis this year. He's got to the quarters so many times, but not progressed through to the semi-finals. Now he's through to the semi-finals and he's drawn John. It really doesn't get easier, does it?
Well, he's got John, and if he beats John, he's then got O'Sullivan for the title. But I rate Kyron Wilson very, very highly indeed. I think he's capable of beating anyone at any time. He's got that mentality. He fully believes in himself. He reminds me an awful lot of Peter Ebdon in that regard. He's a little more fluent than Ebdon. And the one thing about Wilson I've noticed, not just this week, but over the course of the last 3 or 4 months, his control of the cue ball has improved markedly. And when you add that to the fact that, in my opinion, he's the best player with the rest ever, he's dangerous.
I'm sure Sean Murphy would have a little argument with you on that one, I'm certain of that. But it's an interesting one, because whichever of these gets through, of course, Kyron lost to Ronnie in the World Championship final. And I put it to Ronnie last night, he was amazed at this. Him and John haven't played in a ranking event final since 2005. I think it was the Welsh Open, 16 years ago. We couldn't believe that when we worked that out yesterday.
Absolutely. Well, of course, that 2005 final, it was the Grand Prix, and John Higgins won 9-2, and he made 4 consecutive centuries. So he was as dominant, almost as dominant back then as he was in the quarterfinals here. Look, Higgins and O'Sullivan, it would be the dream final. But then again, if it was Wilson and O'Sullivan, it's a repeat of last year's World Championship final, so we can't lose.
No, we really can't. So come on then, Phil, time to nail those colours to the mast. Prediction for tonight?
I think as you get older, and I think this has happened to every single player in the game's history, every single great in the game's history, they struggle with day-to-day inconsistency. I just got a feeling Wilson's going to win this, because I think it's going to be really hard mentally for Higgins to get to that level again that he showed in the previous round. And maybe if he drops below it, he might find it difficult to sort of deal with. So I think Wilson just, but if John gets through, I'll be as happy as Larry.
Well, I'm sure we're going to have a great match either way. And you can watch all of the action live on ITV4 from 6:45 tonight. Phil will be commentating, I'm absolutely sure. Wherever you're watching it, enjoy.